Hey, everybody, welcome to Pep Talk, where we dive deep into performance enhancing physiology, where we talk about peptides, longevity, about health. And we give common sense solutions to common problems that you are asking about every day. Hey, I'm your host, Dr. Eric Nepute. I'm going to be the guide for today, going down this journey talking about hormones. Now, listen, there's so many things that we could talk about with hormones. As a physician for the past 2 decades, one of the things that I specialize in is functional health and functional medicine. And looking at hormones is a huge component to health and well-being. But I need you to understand something that's a little different. You can't just improve your hormones by themselves. So days of just taking hormone replacement therapy and taking this pill or this potion or this cream and lotion to improve hormones isn't really helping at the root cause. I need you to understand that the quality of your health is in direct proportion to the quality of the health of your cells. The healthier your cells are, the healthier your organs are. The healthier your organs are, the healthier the organ system is. And your hormone system, your endocrine system that makes your hormones, well, it needs to, it needs to be balanced. It needs to be healthy. And the reproductive system needs to be balanced and healthy. So there's so much more to hormone health than just taking hormones. That's one therapy that can be done. So let's talk a little bit about hormones. The hormones that people really are concerned about the most are, number one, hormones that we hear about all the time, which are sexual hormones, right? Our testosterone, our estrogen, and our progesterone. By the way, men and women both have those same hormones. Some people mistakenly think that testosterone is just for men. It's just as important for women as it is for men. Men need way more testosterone and are programmed to have more testosterone than women. So, what is testosterone? Well, testosterone is a cholesterol-based hormone that is produced by the testes and the reproductive organs of the body by help of the liver, by help of the digestive function, by help of cholesterol production in the body, by help of vitamin D in the body, and other macro and micronutrients. So there's a whole orchestra that comes into play so that your body has the right raw materials needed to produce a certain compound. But you still have to have what's called cell signaling technology. Your stem cells need to be able to be produced to help your body wake those cells up to do what they're supposed to do to make testosterone. The peptide production in your body has to be good. You have to have the right balance of microbiotics in your system, and you need to have the right function level of enzymes. If you don't have those worker bees, if you will, then those raw materials don't go to work like they're supposed to. So let's talk a little bit about testosterone. Look, testosterone replacement therapy has been going on for decades now. In fact, well over 50 years. Documented data and research goes even farther, a little bit farther back than that, of people that have used testosterone therapy to improve energy, to improve vitality, to improve youthology, if you will. And I think that's great. But testosterone is more than that. Testosterone is a key compound in the body that's needed for all sorts of metabolic functions. Metabolism is your body's ability to do work. It's not just your body's ability to burn fat, right? But it's to do work. It's to be able to produce ATP, which helps make energy. So if you're low in testosterone, you're going to get physical symptoms in the body. Like what? Joint pain, weak muscles, exhaustion. A lot of times men and women will both lose muscle mass in the quads and in the glutes. There's a joke that we talk about a lot in healthcare when a man or a woman, but primarily a man, gets above the age of 30, he starts losing his natural production of testosterone and his glute muscles start to get smaller. We call it a syndrome. We call it no acetol syndrome, right? They lose their glutes. Well, did you know that strengthening your glutes and strengthening your quads is a simple way that you can biohack your body into improving production of testosterone naturally? Did you know that? So also testosterone in men and women, not only is it necessary for, growth of muscles and sexual function, sexual desire, energy, and motivation, it has a lot to do with digestion. There could be imbalances in your hormones that lead to bloatiness, gas, distension, constipation, diarrhea. Your hormone imbalances could lead to a whole slew of those problems. And if all you do is take a shot of testosterone, a pill of testosterone, a patch, or an implant, that's not fixing the root cause. By the way, I'm not against those therapeutics. I recommend those for a lot of our patients. I, from time to time, use some testosterone balancing therapies with other hormone function as well, but that doesn't solve the problem. You have to eat well, think well, move well, breathe well, and then you'll be well, including the supplements of TRT. Testosterone is a big one. Men and women both should have it. And I'm going to tell you, it's interesting because testosterone gets a lot of mis and disinformation about it. Unfortunately, doctors have been misled and fooled that testosterone therapies and high testosterone can lead to heart disease or heart attacks or even cancers. Well, that's not the case at all. In fact, the latest research and studies have proven that if your testosterone levels are elevated, you actually have lower reduction of inflammation and inflammatory diseases. You have a reduction of certain types of cancers, a reduction of heart disease and heart attacks. So it is very healthy for humans to be on hormone replacement therapy as long as it's done proper and in conjunction with other lifestyle changes. Let's talk a little bit about the levels of testosterone. I will tell you that blood test on most men for testosterone, they want those levels, the medical world wants them to be somewhere above a 250, okay, and below 1,000. I'm going to tell you right now, that is a crazy huge range. And we know from a functional standpoint that most people feel and function the best when their levels are above a 600 to about 1,000, maybe 1,100. Okay. What we don't want is the levels to be too low, and we don't want the levels to be too high. And you need to work with your own healthcare provider to find out what level is the best for you. Blood tests are good for that. There's genetic profile tests that help you get a better idea of the muscle potential and testosterone potential production of your body that gives you a better idea how to guide how to improve testosterone from a natural standpoint and what things you can do from a lifestyle change to help improve your testosterone production naturally as well. Women also need testosterone. Women need testosterone for the same reasons that men need it. But I'm going to tell you that testosterone is also the gateway hormone that allows for the balance of estrogen and progesterone, primarily in women. It does affect it in men as well, but women need it just as much. So if you're a female and you're doing a progesterone cream or an estradiol or an estrogen replacement, make sure that you have low dose levels or are working with a healthcare provider that understands the benefits of low dose levels of testosterone to open up those cell channels to allow your body to absorb those nutrients more effectively. That is huge for you. So not only is testosterone important, but estrogen is a huge problem. Now, I don't know if you know this, but we live in a world where estrogen levels go too high. Now, there are three types of estrogen, and most people don't talk about these. You have E1, E2, and E3. E1 is the estradiol. That's what we measure. Okay, that is a very interesting estrogen that's out there. There's an estradiol, and then there's an estrase. So there's E1, E2, and E3. We don't typically measure E3 in the US. We don't supplement and replace with E3. Usually we look at estradiol. If estradiol levels are too high, we can get a problem called estrogen dominance. If we get estrogen dominance, that's when all kinds of things can happen. Men start to gain weight around the hips and around the belly. They start to get more feminine characteristics. Things like gynecomastia can show up. That's why when you're injecting testosterone, you have to make sure that, the testosterone you use is a bioidentical, safe form of testosterone. I don't like synthetic forms. We've had a lot more problems with our patients over the decades that we've used that than the synthetic the natural bioavailable forms. But if you get estrogen dominance, that can cause everything from fibromyalgia, polycystic ovarian syndrome. That can cause things from, infertility, problems with your cycles, really bad PMS symptoms, migraines, massive fatigue, fibromyalgia, chronic inflammation, and so much more. It can also cause baldness for men and women, and it can also cause the body to start growing hair in areas that it shouldn't be growing it. Women can get facial hair, men can get hair in other areas that they normally don't get. So it's important to understand that estrogen and a balance of that is really important. Same thing with progesterone. I'm going to tell you, I find this being missed by so many functional medicine practitioners is progesterone. And progesterone is something that is necessary for men and women. If progesterone levels get too low in women, that can cause for painful cycles. It can cause for really bad periods. It can cause when people have intercourse, it can cause females to have pain, the lack of desire for intercourse, emotional ups and downs. I mean, we see progesterone even affecting digestive functions with bloatiness and gas and distension and even constipation and even leading to IBS symptoms. So progesterone is huge. And there's so many natural things that you can do to help progesterone. I'm a big fan of a lotion called wild yam extract. Organic wild yam extract is a phenomenal compound that can be used naturally for men and women. And using it, taking a little bit of that wild yam extract and putting it on the side of the breast tissue on each side for men and women, or on the inner thigh, or on the scrotum, or on the reproductive organs for females, that can absolutely help balance out hormones naturally. Well, when you're looking at hormones, there's more than just sexual hormones, and there's precursors to those sexual hormones. There's something called DHEA. If your DHEA level is too low, your body's not going to be able to produce testosterone like it's supposed to. And if your DHEA on a blood test is below where it should be, supplementing with 25 to 50 milligrams of DHEA at nighttime can improve sleep, can improve staying asleep, not just falling asleep, but staying asleep. It can improve emotions. It can improve energy. It can improve your hormone balance from a natural standpoint. That's a powerful thing to do. Also, making sure that you have the right amounts of vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is a pro hormone. And if your blood levels are below a 60 nanogram per milliliter on a blood test, it should be between a 60 and a 100. That's the sweet spot. Just remember, when you were in school, you want to try to get 100% on your test. We want our patients to have their vitamin D levels close to a 100 as well. If we can get those levels up, then guess what? We can balance out those hormones naturally. You guys know I always recommend vitamin D3 as a supplement, not D2. And you want to make sure you have a vitamin D3 that has a carrier oil inside of it that's a natural organic oil. I really like vitamin D3s that have oils in them that are things like coconut oil or MCT oil, or other natural, easily absorbable oils that don't go rancid. Um, Also, it's very important that your adrenal glands are working like they're supposed to. Your adrenal glands are glands that live on top of your kidneys. And those glands, those organs, they regulate really three things in your body. They help regulate your sexual hormones, they help regulate your mineral absorption, and they help regulate your sugar metabolism. So these guys are super important. And because of the levels of chronic stress that we're under in today's society, we get a lot of adrenal fatigue and ultimately adrenal exhaustion. And we've done subsequent podcasts on Pep Talk talking about the adrenal glands in depth and talking about how the adrenal glands can be naturally healed by lifestyle changes. But I'm telling you right now, using some herbs like ashwagandha and some adrenal deficit, some glandular herbs, are two great things that you can do right now out of the gate to get your hormones to start balancing naturally. What else? Minerals. Folks, I don't know if you know this, but your body needs 92 essential minerals and nutrients every day in order for it to do what it's supposed to do. And products that are out there like sea moss. Sea moss is a phenomenal nutrient that has almost all of those nutrients in it that your body needs to have the right vitamins, minerals, nutrients in order to produce the right amount of testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen that the body needs. Those are super important hormones. The other deal is magnesium. We recommend that our patients supplement magnesium. It's one of the top, if you look at the top 5 mineral deficiencies in every country across the planet, it's usually in the top 3, if not the top 5 of every country that's out there. Magnesium is essential for so many functions in the body. It does over 300 things enzymatically in the system. But if you don't have enough magnesium, you can't make those hormones like they're supposed to. So remember, I always say I like magnesium glycinate. That magnesium glycinate is easy to absorb. It's relatively inexpensive, and you can get some simple. And the prescription for that, typically you take your body weight, take that number times 10.6, divide that by 2.5, and that's approximately the amount of milligrams that your body needs every day from a supplement standpoint of magnesium. And I will supplement magnesium every day. I typically take it at bedtime. It helps me sleep better. Sleeping helps me heal better, but it also helps with overall hormone balance and function in the body. Let's talk a little bit about foods and nutrition. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, we have a major problem. We get over the age of 30, we start to lose our production of stem cells, we start to lose our production of peptides, and we start to decrease our production of enzymes in the human body. Well, enzymes are essential for so many things. One of those enzymes is called protease. Protease. Protease helps the body break down and metabolize protein. All hormones are made from protease. Protease hormone, you have to have, protease enzyme has to be in the body so it can break down protein you eat into amino acids so that that can be utilized for functionality of all your organs, including your adrenals, including your testes, gonads, all those things so that your body can make those hormones. Most people are not getting enough protein in their diet, and we lose the ability to absorb it as we get older. So, two things I'm going to tell you right now that you should start doing to help all your hormones balance, including your sexual hormones, is start eating more protein. Grass-fed beef is phenomenal. Folks, I'm just going to tell you, the people that say to you, beef sits in your stomach, protein sits in your stomach, it increases the risk of cancers. That may be true for some people, but that is the exception, not the rule. And I'm telling you, that is the exception, not the rule. How do you explain the millions and millions of reports and tests that shows people that switch to a carnivore diet, getting away from a synthetic diet, a diet filled with standard American foods, they reduce their inflammation, they reduce their disease states, they improve their functionality, improve their hormones? It's because shifting in your diet is powerful and important. So what I would encourage you to do, number one, is increase your protein. Whatever your ideal body weight is, that's how many grams of protein you should have every day. So if your 200 pounds is your ideal weight, you should have approximately 200 grams of good, healthy protein per day. That's hard to get within a short window. So I like to practice the 30 minutes in the morning, you get 30 to 40 grams of protein, whether it's in a shake, whether it's in a steak, or some type of good, clean protein source that's not going to upset your GI tract. And by the way, if you do protein shakes, just a rule of thumb, remember, no soy and no whey. Soy is a phytoestrogen that's going to cause an imbalance in your estrogen and hormones. And your soy is a phytoestrogen, and whey disrupts digestion in your body. So when digestion in your body gets out of whack, that throws off every cascade, messes up your liver, messes up your pancreas, throws off your blood sugars, messes up your GI tract. That is going to contribute to the problems of hormone imbalances and much, much more. Okay. So super important that you understand that. Increase your protein and get on a plant-based multi-enzyme every time you eat a meal, especially when you eat a meal with high protein in it. That enzyme has to have amylase, lipase, and protease. If you'll take that with your meals, it'll help your body digest your proteins more effectively. The other thing I want to talk about are metabolic hormones. Other metabolic hormones, primarily your thyroid. I've done subsequent pep talks on thyroid function, so you can go watch those webinars or those pep talks about thyroid function. But just remember, you have TSH, T3, and T4. So TSH is your brain stimulating the pituitary, telling the thyroid what to do. The TSH makes the thyroid make something called T4. Well, T4 then converts into T3, which is energy. The problem is that as we get older, we start to lose the production of T4 and the conversion to T3. So one of the big things that you need to understand right now is that white flour, white grain completely destroys your thyroid, which is going to destroy your metabolism and your energy. If your thyroid goes south, then your body's not going to be able to produce hormones of any kind like it's supposed to, including one we're going to discuss in a minute called ghrelin, which makes us feel full. So the reality of it is this: in order to keep the thyroid healthy, there's a few things that you need to do. Number one, avoid grains, pastas, gluten at all costs. Gluten is a protein that competes with the thyroid. Get gluten out of your system. I'm telling you, you can't balance your hormones and you can't balance your thyroid. You can't lose weight. You can't get energized and etc. unless you get your gluten out of your system and get your thyroid production up. That's number one. Number two, going back to what I said about those 90 plus essential minerals and nutrients. Your body needs magnesium. Your body needs selenium. Selenium's a big one. 300 micrograms per day of selenium has been proven to stimulate the thyroid very, very well. Also, if you understand that iodine is a very important nutrient as well, that the body could have in it, that is essential for getting the body to convert T3 to T4, sorry, TSH to T3 to T4. Also, the gut has to be right. The thyroid has to be right. The adrenals have to be right. The small intestine has to be right. The testes have to be right. All of those balance in that balancing act has to be right for your body to make that thyroid like it's supposed to. We've been able to develop many compounds and improve thyroid function. But I'm telling you, if you'll cut out the grains, cut out the gluten, improve your selenium, improve your iodine, go to a carnivore or a keto type diet, get those mineral levels to come up in your body, that will help you immensely. Okay. So those are things that you can do for that. All those things I told you about for your sexual hormones as well as your metabolic hormones will also help your body with a hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hormone that's produced that allows your body to feel full. It's satiety. Many people will just eat and don't feel full. Well, that's not okay. Like, you shouldn't just keep eating if you don't feel full. Like, eat till you're full is a bad habit to get into. You should eat for your body type. And we've done subsequent pep talks on, the different body types and how you should eat and how many calories you should consume and et cetera for the body types. But if you have a thyroid body type, look, you need to restrict your calories. You really should be intermittent fasting and eating 2 meals a day, eating your food really within a 6-hour window of time. And it really needs to be a keto heavy or a carnivore heavy type of a food plan, and lots of good, healthy salt in your diet. If you'll improve the salt in your diet, 5 to 10 grams a day of good organic sea salt, pink Himalayan salt is good. I like Baja Gold. I also like Celtic sea salt. Those are all beneficial to get your mineral levels up, because your organs need those minerals to take the good fats and the proteins and help your body produce the hormones. By the way, a high fat diet and a high protein diet is also a GLP-1 agonist. So basically, it helps you feel full, which is producing that production of that hormone called ghrelin that we've been talking about. It actually works just as good, if not better, than a lot of these drugs that are on the market, like semaglutides and Wegovy and Ozempic and trizepatide. If you'll switch to a carnivore type diet or a keto heavy diet, you're going to have those same effects. Then the big thing is also eating a lot of good healthy fat. So I recommend to my patients, I said there's really 4 fats that your body needs, and it needs it every day. Number 1, you need a good coconut oil. Coconut oil is a safe, healthy fat that you can cook with. You can put on your skin. You can absorb it through your skin. It's got multiple uses. I'm a huge fan of coconut or MCT oil, which is concentrated coconut oil. I'm a huge fan of some type of hemp seed oil of any kind. Hemp is a very powerful oil for many, many things. Extra virgin olive oil, I typically try to do at least 2 to 4 ounces in a shot of extra virgin olive oil every day. I put coconut oil on my head. I brush my teeth with coconut oil and baking soda. These are oils that really help your body improve. And then the 4th thing that you need is tallow. Do you remember when we were kids and your parents would keep the animal fat, the lard, that tallow? We now know that doesn't cause heart disease. We now know that doesn't cause plaquing. We now know that that doesn't increase inflammation. It absolutely helps the body get the nutrients it needs. And if you go and you look at generations, like if you look at generations now, I will tell you that the average man today between the age of 30 and 50, their testosterone is low. Their testosterone is probably 300 or below, the average man. I will tell you that the average man's 60 to 70 to 80s testosterone is going to be much higher. And I'll tell you, the late 60s all the way up into the 80s, these folks, I just did a blood panel on a guy who's 92 years old and his testosterone is still 700 and above. That's because they still eat the old school way, which is really the right way. It should be the new school way. They eat real animal fats. They eat real fats. They eat real butter. They have coconut oil. They have vegetable oils. They use a ton of salt. If you know anything about the blue zones of the world, these are areas of the world where people typically live to be 100 years or older, and they're vibrant in their 100s plus years of age, in their centurianism, because on their table they have good fats and they have good salts. And you've been lied to. You've been told that fats are bad and that you should have a low fat diet. It's the worst thing that you can do. And that salt is bad and you should have a low salt diet. No, sodium is bad and you should have low processed sodium. So fast food, fried food, and then that white table salt that's on your counter, that needs to be thrown in the trash, man. Don't use that stuff. Look, if you'll start taking this information that I'm telling you today and putting it into your world, it will change your life, but you have to give it time. I always talk about consistency over time is the key to the breakthrough. What you consistently do is what you're going to get. If you consistently do the right things, you're going to get the right output. But if you don't do the right things, it's not going to benefit you whatsoever. So I'm going to encourage you to go back and look at this and look at the simplicity of it. And I promise you, if you'll eat well and you'll sleep well and you'll breathe well and you'll think well and you'll move well, you'll be well. Those are the keys to improving overall hormone function in your body, and all the supplements and all the hormone replacement therapy and all the things else that you can do in addition to that, including peptides. Like, by the way, I'm a huge fan of ipamorelin. I use ipamorelin on a regular basis to improve growth hormone in the body. Ipamorelin is amazing for that. There are other peptides that are out there that we use on a regular basis, like sermolian as well. It's a great one to improve growth factor and hormone function. There are peptides for the thyroid, peptides for the hormones, peptides for everything that can improve the functionality of your body. But if you'll put those things into play regularly and be consistent with it, you're going to get the results that you need. Don't get frustrated. Understand that however many years you've had a problem, let's say you've had a problem for 20 years. It's probably going to take you 20 months to get that completely back to normal, but you can do it. You can be there. So knowledge is power, but it's really wisdom that's the most powerful thing, is taking that knowledge and applying it. So applied knowledge is really the key. So folks, please don't forget to like, to share, subscribe this, share this with your friends and family. I promise you the same questions that you have, they have, and they could benefit from this. You know, if you have questions, you need help, this is what Pep Talk's all about. So make sure you guys go to our site, ask whatever questions you've got. We're here to help you, encourage you, and motivate you and inspire you. And don't forget, folks, that together we can make a huge difference. And if that system of healthcare seems too big to fail, it's time to create a new one. I'm Dr. Eric Nepute. Until we meet again, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Stay smart out there, and let's get healthy. We'll see you soon. Bye.